everybody, it's Honest John again. Last June in Sweden, an unusual museum opened up. The Museum of Failure. And despite its name, it was actually a pretty big success. It has toured Europe and is now here in Los Angeles. It contains a lot of products that just never got anywhere. The Ford Edsel, for example. There's a whole row of Oreo cookie flavors that they tried out and discontinued. Did you know that Oreo actually tried to market a fish-flavored cookie? Well, nobody wanted that. There's the original Google Glass headset. Coke 1, Coke 2, and Coke Zero are there. The Donald Trump board game is there, which was almost as big a failure as his presidency. Pringles chips with Olestra, which gave people diarrhea, and I know that from personal experience. There's Harley Davidson perfume, which smelled worse than the bikers it was marketed to. No offense, bikers, I'm just joking. There's a sign from Blockbuster Video, which was actually pretty successful until the internet came along. There's Heinz green sauce, which tasted better throwing it up than it did eating it. The Sony Betamax is there, which, as you all know, that lost out to VHS, and eventually that lost out to DVR. And there are a number of other products, services, and business models, all of which failed miserably. But some of these failures led to success eventually. The Apple Newton personal assistant is there. And that was a huge failure. But it eventually led to the development of the iPhone, which has been a pretty big success. There is a bass synthesizer by Roland, which didn't sound at all like a bass guitar. And musicians hated it. So it failed so badly that the company actually took most of the product that they created and dumped it in the ocean. But later on, the sound that that thing made became very popular in techno music. And Google Glass was a first step in creating virtual reality. It's just that they hadn't worked the bugs out yet. But now virtual reality is becoming very popular. And this museum resonates with me in particular because it was a huge failure on my part that led to my success. In 1977, I moved out to LA with my brother and a friend. We were a band. It was 2 guitars and a bass. We planned on getting a drummer when we got out here, but we couldn't find one that fit what we were doing. The auditions that we held for drummers were massive failures also. So eventually we failed. The band broke up. The other 2 guys, they moved back home, leaving me out here on my own. And I got a day job working in the psych field at mental hospitals around Los Angeles here. But I had always been funny when we were gigging. Between songs, I would talk a little bit, usually get a few laughs. And so 10 years later, I got back into show business as a stand-up comic. And even though I may not be making as much money as some of the bigger names are, I work pretty regularly. I have a great reputation. I'm really good at it. I'm really funny. If you ever get the chance to see me, you should come out. And so that failure led to my success as a comic. So the message of the museum is the same as the message of my life. Don't be afraid to fail. It might lead to something better.